2 to 3 months, but in our business, that's fairly quick. You can move. If you don't do those things, then guess what? The moment you say, I don't want your business anymore, they're going to say, I got you. Because then if you look at the cost of switching, you're going to have those problems. So I'll go back to those list of questions, and we just put some very simple ones, okay? When we work with our colleagues and we do an assessment, we go in a lot deeper than that. These are all the things you got to think about is, what happens if the relationship doesn't work out? And if it doesn't work out and I want to take my toys somewhere else, can I do that? And you got to plan for it up front.
Well, my thinking is technically it can be done.
Absolutely.
Think about it as a ERP. If you have to go to your hot site and bring up your recovery system in 8 hours window, why can't you do this in 48 hours?
You can do it if you get the right contract.
So it's not the technology, it's not the issue is not the technology. It can be done.
Technically, you can do anything. Yes. Yes, yes. Technically, you can do it. It takes, I'll repeat myself, it takes a lot of diligence up front and focus to say, here are some of the goals that we have as an organization, and we want to make sure we keep our option value open. So we're going to think this through all the way, and you have to do it technically, and you have to do it contractually. Now, what will happen with most vendors, as soon as you want to have that flexibility, then it's not going to be as cheap, because we realize, hey, you know what? You may go down the street the next day, so I'm not going to give you the benefit of 2 or 3 years pricing. Anybody else?
I'll ask one question, because it's an oil and gas group, and their data is held in different formats. There's different systems that are used for hosting data. Is there any translation? What I guess I'm doing is, there's a lot of buying and selling of assets in the oil and gas industry. There's a lot of quick moving. Just simply having a cloud business, handcuffing in that manner, right? I mean, your software is your software.
Exactly, if I understand your question correctly. I mean, you're not the only industry that does that.
They do it a lot.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be handcuffed.
Robert, that's something you wanted to ask a question?
Well, I think it was similar to Connor's question in terms of the distinction between centralizing your private IT and outsourcing it and a private cloud. You answered the question kind of, there was a kind of a pay-per-use model.
Yeah, well,
What you're putting up there, really, it's the same model we've had for many, many years. You just
well, we haven't had it in IT per se. We've had it, we all know it from the utility business. We all know as you pay for what you use, whether it's gas or electricity. Okay, we know that. From the IT business, we've had some pretty creative contracts, but in general, it's been hosting or outsourcing. What you haven't had is, if I call you now, in 2 hours or 3 hours, I can have as much computing power as I want. Okay, and then when it's done, it's gone. I don't have to pay anymore. That's it. I don't have to go procure servers. I don't have to set them up. I don't have to pay a long-term contract. That's what's the difference. That's what's coming different in the cloud play.
So you're suggesting on the private cloud, not buying a private cloud service, I have a virtually infinite scalability.
Yeah, exactly. What will happen with, so I'll give you an example, and I'll go back to my favorite one. We're allowed to talk about on slides on the Arlington County about what they do around their email, because that's simple. There's other things that we do for them on IaaS. And so what we did is they said, okay, here's what you got to do, Marlabs. You have to go in, and we're going to have things, and we don't want this going outside of our firewall. You've got a size for 10x, okay? But I'm not going to pay you for 10x, okay? You want to do business with me, you got to tell me you're capable, because you should have other business, if you're in the cloud business, that you can shift resources around. Now, we did, it's still lucrative for us, it still works out, okay? But we had the size for 10x on an application, and we may be charging them for a minimum of 3x, Then when they burst up, there's a price for that. But the SLA is very, very tight.
So really the logic I find for a lot of people breaks down when they hear that.
Yeah.
Is that you're saying, well, we can scale infinitely.
Mhm.
But if you can truly deliver on that promise, you're going to have to run inefficiently in your environment. You're always going to have compute capacity to be able to accommodate these burst SLAs that you're selling, the value. In which case you can't possibly expect to deliver your IT services at a
Yeah.
lower cost than somebody who paid internally.
Yeah, well, no.
I think that's the argument that I hear a lot.
That's argument that's here back and forth. And it gets down to, if I want the cheapest compute power, I'm going to go public. You can't beat that. You're not going to beat the guys, I don't care if it's Yahoo, any of those guys who have acres of servers. You're not going to beat that. But if you say, listen, I don't want to invest in this, I don't want to invest in the people, I don't want to invest in the headache, okay? I want it all private, then there's some trade-offs. And that's why we like to say it's not really a technology question, it's a business question, and you end up having to work with each client on each particular application, one by one, to say what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And sometimes you get to the point where you say, you know what, this is not a winning proposition. I mean, because we're in business to make money like everybody else, okay? So we're not going to run out of loss just to be good citizens.
The point is, and you make it very well, is that in the long term, making a capital investment, doing it yourself, is always cheaper. But if that isn't possible, you don't have the cash, you can't make capital investment, or it's shorter term than the break-even point that we weren't quite able to establish, then indeed, it makes sense. Just for example, you go build, buy your own generator, generate your own power. If you're going to do that, I know organizations that have done that, because it's cheaper, particularly after the oil sands, it's cheaper to do that, right? But if it's only short term, that doesn't make sense to make that kind of capital investment. Same idea.
That type of flexibility. And almost like what you went back, this isn't really a price comparison. You're walking into this expecting that capital is going to be the major motivator. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to flim-flam you. It's not going to work. Will you get some benefit? Will you get some cost benefit? Yeah, you will. But if you walk in, that's all you're doing it for, then do your email, okay? Maybe put a SharePoint portal up there and leave the rest alone.